Modern day Wizards of the Coast staff are finding out that what you did yesterday means nothing today. It's all about what you can do for the market now, not what you already did. If what you already did is evidence of what you can do tomorrow, you might keep your job. You might be able to protect it. You probably wouldn't have to form a union. Only when the predictions show that what you're going to produce is probably not going to make money, there's a good chance you're going to want to form a union to protect your job, because the company will have to go into the red to keep you around. At Wizards of the Coast, the wind is blowing in a different direction. WotC is seeing money elsewhere. And you can only go into the red for so long before you decide, hey, we see the green over here. We've been seeing the potential for green over here. But now it's obvious the green is over here. And the people we have working for us, they don't want to go in that direction. They want to keep going to the red. They want to bleed us dry to make a point. Imagine having a staff that are activists and they care less about the game, the hobby, or even making money. Now again, at one point when the wind is blowing in a certain direction and the future seems to be yours, well, maybe at one point green will be there, and a company that wants to make sure they're in the right direction will bleed a bit to get there. But there's a certain point where bleeding is too much. Oh, companies can be making money nowadays, but they're not making enough, and they're greedy. And their greed is always going to look towards the green. The longer they're looking at it, the more they want that. And sooner or later, the red doesn't start turning into green in the way they want it to. They go elsewhere. The staff at WotC cannot go in the direction that WotC is now wanting to go. That's where we're at. The wind is no longer blowing in that direction. It's blowing in a new direction. And it doesn't even mean that it's going to blow in the direction of the old school. That's not what that means. And it might mean that some of the things that we don't like about WotC remains. Doesn't mean you're getting rid of it all. But are they willing to ease up, try new things, go in different directions? And while they're going there and experimenting, might there still be some staff members working at WotC that will make you mad at WotC because they're doing something, but really, is it really representing WotC now? If WotC decides, hey, we're experimenting now, but we're going to go here, whatever mess you see right now as they're experimenting, that will start getting cleaned up. You'll see them going towards Luke Gygax, and you'll be wondering, why do they still have that write-up open at on that drive-through place? Why is that write-up that we don't want to see still there? Well, they're testing the water, folks, so they're not going to just switch over instantly. But guess what? The test might be showing some results and letting them be more confident about what they're seeing over here. So never expect a company just to totally switch around from where they were. It's not how it works. But it's clear they're going in a new direction. I will confidently say that. It doesn't mean you have to forgive them for their past. But here's what I would say to everyone. It's business, baby. Right? When you protest a company, you can do all you want. But a company is not there to take care of moral things. They're going to go after something. Oh, sometimes they'll hire a staff and the staff will care. But does the company care as much as you think? No, but hey, if it makes it seem like they do care and more customers will come, they'll care. They'll hire a CEO that cares. But if the CEO and the staff can't make it happen, suddenly the company will show you the truth. We don't care as much as you think we care. We still care about the green. And so you can always get mad at WotC as if you think they're representing something, but in a way, in the back rooms, they're only representing their greed, right? They're only predicting the future. And the company will take losses. So you might think, oh, is the whole company part of the activist group? Not really. But their staff might be for a period of time. Again, if the wind blows that way, that's where the greed is going. But the greed, man, it's a powerful thing. Right? It's a powerful thing. And if the wind doesn't blow in a certain direction, and you realize it's blowing in a direction that's going to hurt you over the long run, time to change, and they're about to make a change. But see, I tell people that complain about a group like WotC, like the backroom dealers, here's what you do. You don't complain, you help them see the green. And if you can't offer the green, your protest means nothing. They're a company looking for money. WotC is, ran in the back by Hasbro. At the end of the day, no matter how political you think Hasbro and those backroom dealers are, trust me, all that political crap will go right out the door. They don't care who the masters are at the top. They don't have that much swing or say. They just know they want something. And wherever that something is in the long run, that's where they are going. It's like wrestling. So I heard they cut a bunch of people. I'll give you a good example of what I mean by business. They signed people last year to a 5-year contract. And then suddenly, as they're making more money, they call them in. They go, yeah, we're going to have to renegotiate that deal. They're like, well, wait, but you're making more money. Why would you do that? Well, it doesn't take much. All they got to do is examine, sit down and go, we just signed deals, but let's examine the future. And they look at it and go, well, we signed those guys, but they're not going to really make us that much. So we can't keep paying them that much. We're going to have to renegotiate right away. But you made more money. But they won't make us more money. Doesn't matter what we made. A company's not there to be your parent, your friend, take care of you. Though in the past, companies have, and they can choose to. But is it a requirement? Absolutely not. Maybe if it was old wrestling Vince is working there, he'll take care of you. When it's TKO, baby, it's backroom deal time. They go where the wind blows, right? So that's why you get a crap product. But if that artificial stuff will make them money, they don't care what it looks like. WotC doesn't care either. They don't care wherever it blows. And we got to realize that as tabletop role-playing gamers, we got to look at it realistically. WotC doesn't hate you or doesn't hate me, doesn't do nothing. Their staff will somewhat represent them, but not in the real sense. If you talk to the guys way at the back room that don't care about our games in reality, and you said, honestly, do you really hate me? They'd be like, we don't even think about you. We don't even really think about our staff that pokes at you. They put something like a Thaco the Clown. Ask the backroom guy, so what do you think of Thaco the Clown? What is that? Well, you guys put it out. Oh, you mean our staff? Yeah. Sure. If our staff put it out, we like it. Yeah. Do you know what it is? No. See, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. We're in business world, deep business world. When Hasbro took over, we stepped into a part of the bigger market that I think most gamers don't understand. I think completely lost on the reality that they are facing. Like, you've got to make it that the wind blows this way and there's green. So you look at the customers and say, hey, old school customers, yeah, have you created a scenario where there's green over here? No. Well, I wonder why you're being ignored. You think it's just the staff? Because trust me, it doesn't really matter. The backroom dealers, the second you make it green over here and you make the wind blow that way, no matter how much power you think the staff has or how they're representing WotC, they'll be overtaken instantly. And then you'll be served. But you can't do that if you're giving them an example of the OSR. That's not green the way they want green. The wind ain't blowing in any good direction there. So they have to see something else. I think what they might have seen is something closer to the OSR. Maybe something where I'd even look at Shadow Dark as sort of a lean into that middle ground of old and the new stuff. And not that the backroom people care, but what it shows is a lot of customers are willing to look at the middle ground now. Not old school the way the old school guys want it. Not the classic OSR clones that we're thinking of or the old games. Sadly, that's probably not the case, guys. I gotta be real with you. And that's not what Luke Gygax is doing either. No, I think they're willing to bring people in that have that old touch, but are playing with something new. See, it's an old touch looking for a balance. Because the new is wanted. No matter how much we want old gaming to come back, that style didn't work. We gotta be real. In the old school, the majority of our own people, when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons, didn't even play the game, the old games, the way the designers intended. The vast majority of our people that ran the games and played the games completely opposite of what the designers had in mind. And only a pinch of people actually played old school Dungeons and Dragons the way it was meant to be played. So that old style is not as appealing as we would like it to be. That's why people played it in an alternative way, and they were playing a system that really didn't support the kind of play people were after. That's why you had to twist things, make 5 characters, go crazy. Why? Because it's a style of play that doesn't actually fit the game. What they found when they got the 3rd edition and whatnot is the more they linked into a certain way of playing the game, people liked it. People liked it. They didn't know how the hobby worked. Think about the early couple decades as still an experiment. I think WotC is still in the experiment, not knowing how picky that customer base can be. You're learning about the customers. You don't know, but you got the majority. WotC ran with it. We have to recognize that our old style didn't achieve that. It didn't. So we had almost 3 decades of our old style in reality overall, getting lucky at times, selling when people don't know what it is until they find out later after purchase. But almost 3 decades of finding out, yeah, man, when it comes to the majority, this ain't it. And right away, WotC came in and went, we'll take that. And they did. And we can get as mad as we want, but that's the reality. What I'm starting to think is there is a middle ground where there's an essence of the old that is still appreciated. But it doesn't mean the old is appreciated. Sometimes in this world, you got to take what you can get. And a change is coming. WotC has decided to not acknowledge the attempt to form a union by their current staff to protect their jobs. That's not good, and that means they're going that way. Now, I don't care. I don't hate WotC. I get it's all business. Right? I get it's business. They're not mommy and daddy. I don't have an expectation of strangers to cater to me in that way, in some moral way. Be good. Do the right thing. That's not their job. Their job is to make money. They're greedy. Yep. And they're allowed to be. Well, fuck, we don't like that, Steven. It doesn't matter. Does it matter? It's not about opinion. You can't control people. That's part of freedom and part of the market and part of capitalism. Alright? It's the customers decide. We can get mad. I see all kinds of people out there get mad about certain things like, oh, AI art. And then 80% of the fucking customer base says, we'll buy that. And there's only a small portion of people that complain. What you find out is usually the minority is very, very loud. You know, very, very rarely does the loud voices really at first represent any majority in anything. Over time, it can, but that really depends on the argument you have. It can work in politics, usually doesn't work that well in business. So, a change is coming, guys, but don't get it into your head in the old school that it means, whew, you're coming back. Not exactly, but maybe, and this is what they're hoping, because they see some green there, that maybe if they lean in a bit, you'll come back. Now, some of the things you really hate, what I would say is, start pushing it more. But make it recognizable that you'll come back. Don't just say, I'll never come back, because if you never come back, don't ask for a change. Well, what's the point of saying, they gotta change, but I'll never buy their products? Well, fuck you, I ain't changing. But why? Well, you said change, but then you said you'll never buy the product. And I hear old school guys doing that. Change! We demand change! We won't buy anything. That's not how it works, guys. You gotta say to Watsy, fucking change. I don't need you to care about me, but change if you want my money. And stop making this emotional. Stop saying, man, you gotta make up for the past, because the guys in the back room, you ask them, why are you attacking Gary? We did? Yeah, you attack Gary Gygax. Or which staff members attack Gary? Do you get it? The staff really doesn't represent the money. Money's ignorant. it's just that's the activist staff, right? See, they'll let it act like they represent them, but in reality, there's a back room. There's a back room, and they'll step in if they think things are going south and make things work. And when you finally go to them and you go, man, I can't believe what you did, they'll be like, what'd we do? You attacked Gary Gygax. Oh, sure, okay, yeah, maybe. We're sorry about that. See, you admit it. Looks at the secretary. Did we attack Gary? Did we? Oh. Yeah, very sorry about the attack thing on the Gary guy. It's Gary Gygax, the guy who designed the game. Oh, he did? You see, money's so ignorant it doesn't give a fuck. It doesn't give a fuck about our history. It doesn't hate you. Think about greedy people like being in the forest. It doesn't hate you or love you or anything. All it does is look at the situation and go, what's in it for me? Nothing. Okay, I'll let you bleed to death. Boom, boom, boom. Walk on. Oh, saving you can help me out. Sure, I'll help you. All right, kid. You start telling him your name, he's like, you don't got to tell me your name, I don't care. Like, that's the kind of people you're really dealing with. The faces you don't see. The names you've never ever heard. People you won't even attach to WotC in your mind. And then we got to think WotC has its hands in so many different things that you don't know about. I guarantee this. I know this for real. You'll notice that just a few companies own everything. And Hasbro is one of these massive companies. So what do? They own the WotC, but even through WotC, they'll have a variety of different investment groups under different names. But it's all them. And what will screw you up, and this is how it can work, they'll invest in their own competitors. Sometimes they'll be investing in you. You'll think you're like, oh, we got some investors and we're against WotC. And what you don't know is some of your investors, it's WotC. Or it's Hasbro. But you don't know that. And there's no legalese that says they have that little investment group has to let you know. So many loopholes, so many rights. So much stuff you don't know and will never know. It takes a long time to learn any of that stuff. What you just do is go, instead of worrying about all that nonsense and getting all emotional, understand it's just business. That's all it is. And if you learn a bit, maybe that's why Luke, when they said, well, this is what they said about your father. Yeah, that's what they said at the time. Because once you start really knowing some of the stuff, you stop taking it personal. Because the real money doesn't hate you or love you. It loves money. That's all you got to know. So stop getting all worked up. What you always got to do, the best protest you can put forward to any company, even when you think the staff is ignoring you, don't worry about it. Show the green. Have the wind go towards that. And if customers, you're too tight, you're too picky, and you let a market fall, and that's what people see, money doesn't come to help you. And the old school has a bad track record. Ask TSR. And ask all the OSR designers how well they're doing financially. Outside of Kelsey. Not too well. Not too well. And even if you put them all together outside of Kelsey, not too well. That's the money. Money speaks. Money talks, as they say. The old song. Money talks. Money really does talk. Stop taking WotC and all this WotC stuff so personal. You have it all wrong. You do not know what you're talking about. The staff, the activist staff that does stuff that pisses you off, the tax scary, they're here today, gone tomorrow. That's the reality. There you go. Thought I'd let you know to stop getting so upset with WotC. This is why I personally don't get mad at WotC, because I know. It doesn't mean I know everything. It's not what I'm saying. I'm wise enough to know the reality without needing to know every detail about what's going on. All I know is the guys way in the back that are the real money, they don't hate Gary. They probably don't even know who the fuck he is.